Look at what we got here. You guys already see it in the beginning of this video, the title of the video. Artec Manifold is here. Look at that box, son. Sheesh. God, I'm such a loser, but awesome. Ben, thank you again, man. It just means the world to me. So I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the box here and let's take this manifold out because I am excited as excited gets to see this thing in person. I didn't realize how light this was because the packaging, I got a UPS update and it says 6 pounds. I'm like, that can't be right. So I was like a little curious when it said 6 pounds. I'm like, this can't be the manifold. There's no way it only weighs 6 pounds, but hey, maybe, wow, that is extremely light. So maybe that is true. So let's put this up on the table now. Cut this bad girl open. And come here. Can't say they didn't wrap it well, that's for sure. Man, they wrapped it extremely well. Look at that. She is beaut. She is a beaut. All right, guys. So taking the turbo kit off the car, taking off the street torque kit right now. Great turbo kit. Fantastic. I actually just drove the car this morning. Awesome as awesome gets for a turbo kit, but it's time to move on to the Artec. So I just took off the intercore piping. Next, I got to take the clamp off down there. I'm going to support the exhaust because I'm keeping the mid pipe, just getting rid of the downpipe, and we'll make a new one for the new setup. So just got to take that off, take the downpipe off, then turbo and the rest. There ain't much to it. This makes it super simple. This is why it's one of the best kits out there because it's so easy to work on. I don't have to dread taking it off because I can get to it for the manifold wise very easily. Same with the turbo and even for the drain. Look at that. Like I can get right to it for the drain. How awesome is that? And then it has a stainless steel hardline. I made that because I don't have to worry about anything leaking, breaking on me that way. Just always worry about that kind of stuff. So I digress. I shut up. Let's take that clamp off the bottom and get this off. So unfortunately, guys, I already took the turbo kit completely off, boxed up, and shipped out. It's going to a guy in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, where I actually used to live. And it's on now, along with the new Precision 6870 dual ball bearing Gen 2 turbo. And man, that is a mouthful. Good Lord. And of course, it is a V-band rear housing. This is a 96AR. I was trying to go a little bit bigger, but my buddy Tony over at Stance Tiger Media said he has a 1.0, and he said it's been perfectly fine. So this is 0.4 smaller, not crazy difference, but it is slightly smaller. I wish it was a little bit bigger, help this thing breathe on the big end, but it should be okay. This is also a little bit bigger than I wanted to go, but I wanted to put an H cover on it. I wanted to go small of a turbo as I could possibly get, but have an H cover. And the smallest I think I could find was the 6870. I'm told like the 6466 or 6766 are a better turbo. Realistically, this will make more power. This will well get me to the 1,000 horsepower range if this car ever needed it, which it won't. That's why I was trying to go smaller, because my goal was to upgrade to a bigger turbo with more room to grow, but have the same spool characteristics as the 6266 journal bearing. And it just, this is going to be slightly laggier. I think. I could be wrong. VVTi, maybe put some cams in, so I don't know. We will see and go from there. But everything is on. Like, guys, look how well this fits. And one thing I want to tell you too, with the V-band, this allows so much more playtime. So I can move this turbo and put it really close to shock tower, even where it's at right now. All that, I can move it over that way more. It's all about, for me, since I'm not cutting this here and just running a coupler off of it, I could literally adjust this over more, so I could take this turbo if I had it loose, spin it, and it allows me to cluck it this way, and it gives me like stupid amounts of room. It's insane how much room you can get with this. I wish I would have done V-band years ago. Again, it wasn't popular. I shouldn't say popular. It wasn't as common as it is now, and the cost of those housings and stuff was really expensive. I'm glad to see it's becoming more common now. Brings costs down a lot for all of us, but this makes it a lot easier. Literally plop it on, put one band on, start cranking down, done. And now I can move it around, do whatever I need. Also, this Precision Turbo uses a 4-inch outlet, so there's no step up here. It's just literally 4-inch directly out, which is cool. But I wanted to show you guys fitment wise, like look how well packages this. And the biggest part is back here. Now I don't have ABS, but I wanted you guys to show you packaging, because that's a big part of this manifold, is packaging. Fits in there so nice and tidy. Again, allows room here. Now, my car does have the Powerhouse Racing rotator neck, which is like a given. If anyone's out there, if you have a 2J, you always run a rotator neck. It's just what you do. It's kind of a given. So if I didn't mention it, I'm mentioning it now. You have to rotate the neck. And I know you could technically get away with not doing that, but man, you'd really have to clock the turbo over. It's like a $40, $50 part. Just go out and buy it and be done with it. But there is that. Now, I'm also going to premise this with one thing some people have noticed, and I've gotten quite a few messages. This is the Artec prototype manifold. So the one you guys will be getting will be slightly, keyword, slightly different. The runners, everything else will be the same. The wastegate tube here will all be the same, except when they designed this, they designed it using, I believe, the Aristo mounting point. So if you ever look at a 2J, on the side of it here, on the exhaust side, there's 2 bolt holes here and 2 bolt holes here. They use the front ones for the motor mount. So when they were placing the wastegate, they're like, perfect, I have room. Well, on a Supra, as you can see, it runs the wastegate directly into the motor mount. So that didn't work. So I'm gonna have to cut that off and move it over some. Not a big deal. I do have to take the manifold and everything back off for that, but it's not the end of the world. I'm not worried about it. But what this does allow too, because I'll show you guys something also. See how it cuts there? That is on purpose because it's hard to get in there and machine all that. Now, this doesn't affect the wastegate and how it seats and stuff, but it just cuts it there. So the actual seat of it is not, keyword is not affected. But I would assume since they got to bring this out this way now, it would allow more room for the machine to get in there. So I don't even think the newer manifolds would have that. But I know it's seen, someone's going to ask, and I want to go ahead and explain that. Now, another thing I want to go ahead and explain. This is a cast stainless steel exhaust manifold. Not just stainless steel. So someone's thinking, well, Ryan, is it 304, 321? This is 347 stainless. What is that? It pretty much is, it won't tarnish. So this will turn colors, obviously, if you get heat in it, but unlike a 304 stainless, which you'll see rusting and it will pit and stuff like that, this will not happen. So this will turn some crazy colors, which is awesome, kind of like titanium, but it will never pit or having those issues. It is less prone to cracking. It has a very high nickel content. Again, my background was in engineering and still is in engineering and machining. So it's a very good material and it should be good for many, many years to come. The other big benefit of this manifold is Wastegate Priority. Let's have a 50mm flange at the bottom, but the internal design here, if you see how big this is, next to my hand, let's see if this will focus here. This is 70mm ID. So the internal design, or the internal dimensions of that is 70mm, then next down to 50. That forces air into it and then over to the gate. Kind of like how the old HKS manifolds you would see had 2 runners come off and neck down into one, and how they're able to get away with the old 50mm gates they sold. It's because it's forcing air over there. And that's kind of the premises of this. There's some awesome videos he's made showing the flow charts and stuff. I don't want to post those today without Ben's permission, but he showed me it personally. I'm excited for this. The goal for me is, with this turbo, I want it to be able to hold as low as 15 PSI. I believe that's the spring I had requested from Go Fast Bits, because they put the spring in it for you. I'll have to double check. It might be 13 or 15, because I'm trying to keep boost low for this car. It helps with traction control, everything like that, but that also puts a lot of work for the manifold and wastegate to do, because it's saying that, hey, I've got all this turbo with all this power, all this pressure in here, and I need you to alleviate from one gate. So we've got to alleviate all that pressure. With the 50mm gate, if you're doing an external dump, which does help with pressure instead of putting it back into the exhaust, it is a 2-inch dump, unlike a 44mm, which is, I think, 1 3/4 or 1.5. I'll have to double check that. It gets some pretty beefy stuff. So this is a Wastegate Priority manifold. It is a single gate manifold, stainless steel, and it fits extremely nice. Again, if you're worried about the body, plenty of room there, plenty of room in the back. Just want to make sure I get every single angle I can. You can see the mid pipe down there from Powerhouse Racing. So yeah, and some people are going to ask, Ryan, why are you doing this? Like, you had a great turbo setup. 100% doing this for content, testing. I truly 100% enjoy doing this. Now, I do want to drive the cars too, because it does get to the point where, like, all right, I'm tired of working on it. But when it comes to this, I'm like, all right, well, I want to try a bigger turbo, I want to try another manifold. I just wanted to try something different. So this was it, and I'm pretty excited about it. I even got most of the parts to start fabricating things up. So I'm excited to see how this thing sounds and how she moves out. All right, guys, so we're also going to be using this Go Fast Bits 50mm. Look at this thing. Absolutely beautiful. This uses a stainless steel body here and a hard anodized top. Does have two BSPT. I'm going to be using MPT, which is going to make it a little bit shorter, but uses two BSPT ports here off to the side. I prefer that over the putting it right off the top. I like them having both of them right side by side like that. This company, along with TurboSmart, offers a 50mm flange. So this or a TurboSmart wastegate 50mm will work on that manifold. This also uses these cool clamps. Now check these out. I love these because installing tile and stuff with those hard like two-piece clamps, these are more like a V-band. Not only are they V-banded, but this screw here, I'm like, man, how are we gonna do this? It locks in. So it goes like that and pops out. It has like this locking style in there. See how it's like flat and cut out? So all you gotta do is get it around or get it on there. Once it's tight, figure out where you want it, boom, pop it down, and then tighten it down the rest of the way. It makes this a lot easier to install, get on and off. This also comes with all the clamps and all of the hardware to install. Go Fast Bits, again, thank you guys for also sending the wastegate. Helps me a ton. We've also got two different dump tubes here. Again, I just bought extra just to be safe. I got this 120 and a 45. I think I only need the 120 just from gate placement. It's actually really good on the Supra. So that means I only have to do one weld. We'll just put this one clamp on here. Take that out, that's the fire ring. We'll just take, actually I want to show you guys this too. Got a million things I want to show you guys. So let's take this one here. We'll take this one, which is actually got a bad end there, but we'll plot that down in. I wanted to show you guys on the inside of that ring, see how it is like cut out. So it's designed so your tube actually sits down inside of it. So when you go to get it welded, it'll actually weld a lot nicer. That pipe itself is sitting down in. Instead of just sitting edge to edge, like say like that, this actually sits down in. So when you go to weld, it gives a better weld, gives a better chance of it not cracking. We'll also back purge all of this when the time comes. Now the beefiest and craziest thing is going to be the downpipe. This piping is from Dixon Valve, or actually Ferocious Motorsport, but Dixon Valve is out of Maryland here. I've actually been down there to work with Sandvik before, but this piping thickness, look at this. It is way bigger than I thought it was going to be, but you know, should weld nice. This is 304 stainless that I just have brushed. You can get polished or brushed like this. So yeah, I just told them, hey, have it brushed. I'm going to do a 45 at the top, down to the 90, then another 45. So again, this is gonna be one of those longer videos, guys. So if you're bored, I'm sorry. It's gonna be something like that off of it. So I gotta get the flange here. We'll cut it down some, but it'll come like that. We'll lop it here and then 90 it down, and that's how it should fit in there. I think this is gonna be nice when done. Also got all the intercooler piping here. This stuff I've just had laying around, and some stuff we might just reuse, even though it's powder coated, but 290s, 345s, and this might work out perfect down there in the bumper already. And just we'll have to make some adaptations. I actually ordered this too because I assumed it was a 3-inch up to 4-inch on the back side of the housing, but it's not. So I found this little billet. This is from ATP or AGP Turbo, and I was like, perfect. This will allow us to not have to make something that necks up, blah, blah, blah. But I don't need this now, so I'm just gonna put that back in my box of things to hold on to for now. But yeah, so we got most of the stuff to go ahead and get this started. Again, I want to give a big shout out to Artec for all of this. I can't thank you enough, Ben. I'm beyond excited to try this turbo kit out. I think this is going to be a bit of a game changer. I'm not sure what the price is going to be. You guys can see, look up some of his pricing on his website, seeing some of the other turbo kits. I would assume this would be between the $1,300 to $1,700 range. Again, that's speculation. I don't know what he's going to charge, but looking at some of the other turbo kits, I would assume it's somewhere in that range for a 6-cylinder turbo manifold. I don't know. I'm really pumped for this. Excited to try it out, see how it goes. Thank you guys very much for tuning in today. Stay tuned to see how all the fabrication goes. Peace.